right, a lot of stuff to get to. If you're just tuning in for the very first time and you're not sure who you're listening to or what you're listening to, it's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show, hosted by, of course, Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan has been called the Real Estate Whiz Kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, other national publications. You may be seeing him on TV with NBC and also with Fox and Friends with the Morning Show. You've heard the personal endorsements here by Glenn Beck, by Sean Hannity, also Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaVox. Put them all together, it's just totally unprecedented. Now, that's one thing. But the other thing is that Blake has trademark systems for both home sellers and home buyers. They are trademarked, so we can't give you all the details, but more than happy every week to tell you the most important part of that system.
Yes, and that's the whole DNA behind this show, why we do this show. And really calls for me to take time every week to put a lot of time and just find out, hey, what do we talk about, what do we have, and it's provide value to answer this question here and really this big mistake I see happen over and over and over in our business, literally every single day. The mistake is they make the mistake of thinking that all real estate agents are the same. It could not be any further from the truth. The reality is, right, doesn't matter what your wall color is, your grass quality. It comes down to the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. That thing is the agent that you choose, period, right? Comes down to you want the absolute best, and it's just like any doctor, any lawyer, any service-type business. It comes down to the agent you have, how good they are, and how well they execute. And so if you're charged with a crime, you did not commit. The last thing you want is a part-time attorney who's a friend of a friend who tried a few cases before, right? You want the absolute best, most aggressive, most detail-oriented attorney who specializes in that type of law that can help you in that scenario. But for some reason, when people deal with their largest assets, a.k.a. real estate, they don't really have that same standard. They just take whoever they think is out there, their friend recommended them to, and they don't realize that agents only sold 3 houses in the last 12 months, and they have no clue what they're doing at all. And so that's the reality of why we do this show, to help you understand, look, there's a big difference here. There's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, it puts money in your pocket, property gets sold. If anything's handled incorrectly, a.k.a. they drop the ball at any point, and that could be anything from the pricing strategy that they tell you in the beginning. We see that happen a lot. The quality of the photos, the order of the photos. Does your agent actually answer the telephone when a buyer calls in off that for sale sign? Do they even get a for sale sign? If they get a web lead online, how long does it take them to respond to that web lead online, and so on, all the way through the process, all the way through negotiation to get you to that closing table. What you find is most agents are really good at 1 or 2 of those things, but they can't do all of them. Why is that? Well, it's physically impossible for one agent to do all 118 different variables proactively on multiple different deals. And what you find is agents mostly do the 3 Ps. One, they promise you the world to get the listing, and they tell you anything and everything to get that listing from you, whatever you want to hear. Usually they're going to tell you they're number one. We don't know where they're number one of, but that's what they all say. Then number 2 Ps, they put it to MLS, right, the multiple listing service. So they get that, take some pictures, prop their cell phone, put it to MLS. And 3, they pray that someone else brings the buyer. Meanwhile, they're down the street getting the next listing because they're trying to survive in this business, which is how the business has been done for years and years and years. And the one thing I did say, look, there's got to be a better way. It's more efficient, more effective for our clients. So we sought out and I looked at how do we design a program that's proven repeatable, that creates maximum leverage at every single point for our client. And that's what we did. Created this thing called the Guaranteed Sold System, the only proven system sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods, and it works very, very, very well. And so I designed it. We licensed other agents in other parts of the country, but you want to make sure you have an agent, number one, who has a team and structure and technology behind them that can juggle all those balls, right? That whole model worked maybe in the 70s and 80s, but the problem is 90+% of agents still operate with a business model that was designed and utilized in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, right? It's like having the same person at McDonald's do the front register, the drive-thru, and the french fries at the same time. It's not very efficient, but they're selling your house that way every single day. And so if you want a better system, you want to know how that works, reach out to myself, to my office, 843-808-SOLD. And guess what? On the flip side, it's very difficult right now for home buyers. And so it's the same exact process there. There's 100+ variables on the buy side. If each one's handled correctly, it gives you a competitive advantage, and you get the best property at the best possible price. The problem is most agents are doing a bunch of different things. They're trying to get what they can, where they can, and they drop those balls along the way. Why? Because it's physically impossible for one person to do all those proactively at the same exact time. And so the system we designed is called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. Get you priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, as well as home inspection to get you to the closing table successfully. And so if you want a huge competitive advantage and understand how to stack the dominoes in order to help you in the overall way there, reach out to myself, 843-808-SOLD, or go to BlakeSloan.com. That's BlakeSloan.com. Quick break, right back in a second.
Here with my trusted friend in the real estate market, Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. So what do home sellers, what do they need to know about the market right now?
Home sellers need to know the market here on the Grand Strand, absolutely on fire. We're seeing record numbers in terms of prices that sellers are getting. It's almost unbelievable. We're seeing hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars coming in the Northeast that are just coming bidding up properties and getting sellers more money than they ever thought possible.
Got it. Now, how will that get them more money?
That's going to help get home sellers more money because there's more buyers here than we've ever seen before. But we're not sure how long that's going to last. We are seeing that start to level off a little bit, and some of that interest has started to slow down. So sellers definitely need to take advantage of the super hot market right now before there's any type of shift.
All right, as always, thanks for the insight. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I'm excited to connect with Blake Sloan, the only real estate agent in Myrtle Beach that I recommend. You offer several options to home sellers, which really takes away the stress.
That's right. For sellers in a time crunch, we can agree to sell it by a certain date, pay cash for your home, or even rent it.
That's great. And if the seller has a bit more time?
We use our proven marketing plan to sell it for the highest price.
Work with my friend Blake Sloan and get your home sold on your terms.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Brand new market update, and we have some very, very interesting news that we're looking at, and really kind of the most important news we've had in a while in terms of what's happening, what's going on. Remember, there's two types of numbers we talk about. Number one's like the numbers that are outside the front windshield, and the other type of numbers are the ones in the rearview mirror. And so the rearview mirror is what most people talk about. It's what we talked about for years and years and years on this show, over 10 years now. And ideally, those are properties that closed. And so that's kind of what everyone uses. The problem with that is if you look at only deals that close, you don't realize that a lot of those went under contract 30 to 60 days prior. They went through the whole process of getting financing, doing the inspections, all that stuff, and then ultimately finally closed, let's say, last month. And so that's very helpful to make decisions, but that's not the most up-to-date data to make decisions. So what we started doing during COVID is let's look at pending deals, a.k.a. properties that are going under contract. Obviously, you know, a significant amount of those closed. You can track that, and we track those numbers daily. And something we started going over with my team every morning in our early huddle. We have a huddle in the morning. Everybody goes over something positive from the day before, and they go over what their goal or win is for that day. And one of the things we cover is how many new properties went under contract in the last 7 days across the entire MLS, as well as how many active homes for sale are in Horry County, just so we can kind of watch that and see what's going on. And we also cover interest rates. So interesting numbers. If you look, remember the last shows, you can go back to YouTube or Facebook and kind of see some of our old shows. The reality is we've been looking about the high 700s and sometimes 800s every 7 days. So if you look at every property goes under contract in a 7-day period, we were averaging the high 700s, 780s, 790s, right, 800. And really we're averaging about $250 million per 7-day period going under contract. The good news is past 2 months we've seen a lot of high-end properties. So we've sold a lot of high-end properties, just closing a 1.2 second row, just put another in contract. And that was in Myrtle Beach. Matt and our team just sold another one, second row and Surfside for 1.2. And so we're seeing a lot of big money coming in here. But here's the big thing we've noticed in the past 7 days. My team and I have watched it in terms of traffic, in terms of buyers, and also we're watching it on the MLS. The last 7 days right now, in terms of properties going under contract, it just dropped below 700 for the first time that I can remember in a very, very, very long time. And so right now, the last 7 days, 690 properties went under contract. So 690 properties under contract in the last 7 days for a total of $215,653,888. And so looking at that, it's down from the 245, 250 for millions, and it's down below 700s for the first time in a very long time. And so that's something that we're looking at to see. And you know, obviously there's dips in certain things, but we're also hearing from some people that, hey, interest rates have gone up, put them on the sidelines a little bit. They can't afford what they could. And also, as prices have gone up, affordability is getting a little more tough. And then you add in interest rates going up significantly to the highest since 2009. That has some buyers pump the brakes, which in turn obviously cools off the market a little bit. And so that's something we'll keep watching. Now, here's the thing. If it went down to 690, obviously the first place you look at is inventory. Hey, maybe there's no inventory. Maybe they all got bought up. That's not the case. In this case, inventory has continued to climb really in the past 3 to 4 weeks. And we tracked this on the show. If you remember last week, we were really in the 340s, 350s. Before that, we're in the 320s and right between 315 and 325. Ideally every single week. Right now, we're at 382 single-family resales for sale in Horry County. Now, we just use that because it's an easy way to track. You don't want to go too far out because the further you go out, the more areas that are different. And so we cover all the way from southern North Carolina all the way down, to McClellanville and inland, way past Marion, Dillon, all that stuff, but almost to Florence. But if you look at just Horry County here, it's interesting to watch that number climb. And it's still a seller's market, still a super seller's market. But, again, I look at real-time data so I can help my clients make the best decisions. It's definitely a little bit, not alarming, but it definitely is something to watch and see buyers backing off a little bit. It does show, hey, look, there may be some cooling off of the market. Again, we still have a huge shortage of inventory, and that's really the big thing. And here's a good positive about the data. 13 properties over $1 million under contract last 7 days. 107 properties over $500,000 under contract in the last 7 days. So great news overall in terms of the prices here. But we are, without a doubt, seeing the buyers cool off a little bit. Personally, I think that maybe needed a little bit because some of the prices are out of control. But if I'm a home seller and I see that, I've been thinking about selling, that means I need to hurry up a little bit because we're seeing it cool off a little bit. If you think about taking some chips off the table like I mentioned in previous shows, you definitely may want to do that overall. That's the real-time data. Now, look at the last month's data, which is the rear-view mirror data, what closed, which is important. Anytime we show the client, we show them both types of data to help them understand, hey, look, here's what's going on, and here's how I make the best decision. That's how we're able to help push prices a lot higher than people think they can go, and also a lot of agents think their clients can go because they don't have the right access to the right data. So here's the good news for overall market in general. Single-family home sales, the prices were up significantly. We'll talk about that in a second. Sales, though, were down last month, down 10.4% from the same month last year. So last month, at the end of the month, which was obviously March, overall, the amount of sales were 696. Last year in 2021, in March, there were 777. So you can see how it dropped down a little bit there overall, which is obviously where you see the decline at. The good news is price in terms of median price up, a new record, which is great, up 24.6%, $355,000, which is awesome news there. Average price also up, new record, up 27.9% at $461,650. Into inventory at the end of last month, also down, right near the record low, not quite the record low, but 1.0 months, which is down 23.1% overall. And so it still has us set up in a super seller's market. There's still an inventory crisis. And overall, that's what's protecting price as it slows down a little bit. And I think that's what it will continue to help protect price as it slows down a little bit for the most part. So that's great news there overall. Showings per listing in terms of traffic. Traffic was pretty much flat last month at 8.2 showings per listing. It was up, though, from last year at 5.1%. Obviously, it's a lot easier to show all these in graphs. That's something we do face-to-face. Anyone that has it. If you also want to be on the list, we sent a video out. We sent one out this morning that goes to everyone. It shows them the graph. It gives them the update. You go to BlakeSloan.com to get that anytime, or just call in the office at 843-808. So we'll keep you updated every month on what's going on out there for free, no obligation or anything at all. Into condos. Condo sales. They're pretty much flat, but they were down 1.6% from the same month last year. So if you look at last month, there were 798 condo sales. Last year, the same month, which is March, 811 condo sales. Single sales price, median price up 35.7%. Huge jump in condo prices because inventory is super low. Everyone that were previously trying to buy houses, the affordability got too out of hand. They moved to condos and buying everything up in condos. That's why you're seeing a huge jump in prices at $211,000 right now. Average sale price also up 32.8% at $253,503, which is great news for any condo owners out there. Inventory, a new record low of inventory for condos, down 70.0%. So there's 70% less condos than there was last year. That's why you're seeing price jump up significantly. Right now, 0.6 months of inventory, and that's something that's obviously a huge advantage for home sellers, disadvantage for home buyers, and it is an inventory crisis overall in that piece. And so that's just something to look at as well. The good news is traffic for buyers looking at condos is up 13.6%. I think you see the big disparity there between homes and condos because condos are just a little more affordable right now. For anyone out there looking. But the one thing I do notice is just watching this, we'll kind of keep a good eye on it. The one kind of, not alarming, but the one thing to keep watching is the pending deals. They continue to decline. Obviously, last thing you want to do as a home seller is chase that down. In 2008, a lot of people were chasing that down, and they would get behind the curve, and they'd keep dropping. And obviously that was very frustrating. In this scenario, I don't think we're quite there yet. I don't think we have to worry about that yet. But obviously with what's going on just across the economy and everything else, there's no telling what will happen going forward. But one thing that's really driving this that we've just seen kind of put the brakes on and cool things off a little bit has been mortgage rates. Last week's show, 5.15%. This week's show, for a 30-year fixed rate, 5.35%, a new high since 2009. And so that's just something to make sure in that scenario you got to keep watching there. In that 15-year fixed rate, 4.65%, which is still obviously a new record in that scenario. A 30-year FHA loan, also a new high, 4.87%. A 30-year jumbo loan, also a new high, 4.44%. And a 5-year adjustable rate mortgage right now, up 4.09%, also a new high. And so that's obviously having some buyers pump the brakes a little bit. It's still continuing to climb every single day, but that's something we'll keep watching. Still, obviously, if you look at overall long-term rates, it's still pretty affordable what's happening out there. If you're thinking about buying, definitely take some advantage of this spring-summer market. We'll talk about what's going on with there. We're still seeing sellers get massive price increase above what they think they can get, and we'll take a quick break right back in a second and talk about those in here.
WRNN listeners, Clay Travis here. As investors in real estate, Buck and I both know exactly what to look for to find the agent with the best tools and marketing to get the highest sales price possible for a home.
Totally true, Clay. And here in Myrtle Beach, that agent is our friend Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. If you need to sell a home and buy a new one, ask Blake about his guarantee.
Get this, Blake guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or he'll buy it himself. And since you know when your current home will sell by and for how much, you can buy your next home without worrying about getting stuck with 2 mortgages.
There's simply no other agent in the market who has a guarantee that will line up against what Blake Sloan can offer you. So when you're looking to sell and buy, he is your guy. Read nearly 750 5-star reviews by Googling Sloan Realty Group. Give Blake a call today and start packing. That's Sloan Realty Group.
And tune in to Blake's show Saturdays at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 11:30 a.m.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Got the brand new hot buyers alert. And my team and I are working a ridiculous amount of home buyers looking for homes here, Myrtle Beach, Grand Strand area, from $250,000 up to $4.3 million. If you're thinking about selling, contact us immediately, 843-808-SOLD. It's 843-808-SOLD. One thing we like to do that we've been doing for a very long time is just put our money where our mouth is, and that's kind of the one advantage that we have. And going back to our earlier thing we talked about in terms of how agents are different and the reality of what we do, created a business model. I looked at what people did outside of real estate from a business standpoint and said, look, how do we model that in real estate and actually have a real business, not just a bunch of agents that are individuals that don't really care about each other? And so we created a business model that's a hybrid, and it's a team model. It's within an independent brokerage, and everyone's in a line. But because of that, it gives me a huge advantage where I can outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint and still be able to grow and have return on that. And what that does is it gives our sellers a huge advantage. Why is that? Because I've been spending tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars to generate buyers from across the globe before you ever pick up that phone to call me. And so that's what makes it a lot different here. And for years and years, been reading this off. You've been listening for a while. You've probably seen the number continue to climb. But right now, my team and I are current active home buyers that are on our site searching with a username, password, account is 67,477 active home buyers. Again, 67,477 active home buyers. We have them from all over. Why is that? Because buyers tend to go online to search on their smartphone, computer, tablet, and they usually go to Google, different places. So guess what we do? Spend tens and tens of thousands of dollars driving traffic online, and then all of a sudden they're on there. We help serve them. We obviously show them properties, and then we have technology and a team of people, 30-plus agents, that'll take the buyers and match them up to our sellers, because that's what we're paid to do, is help them out, and that's our properties sell faster and for more money. And so it's not like the average agent where you call them, they finally come over, then they put a sign in the yard, and they hope to put it MLS. And here's the thing. The average agent in our marketplace sells 4.3 homes a year. It's hard to eat with, much less spend money on marketing when you're selling 4.3 homes a year. And so you want somebody who can help get differentiation and bring in buyers from all over the place. Why is that? Because they're able to find buyers who will pay a premium for the property. In the past shows, we talked about the classic Corvette example. I'll save you that one for this show. But here's the deal. We got buyers from all over. Right now, I got Ken Trotter from Greensboro, North Carolina. I got Greg from Fairborn, Ohio. I got Mary from Deerfield, Illinois. I got Stuart from Montreal, Quebec. I got Dan Sutton from Santa Ana, California. I got Dustin from Myrtle Beach. I got Denise from Myrtle's Inlet. We got Bennington, Vermont. I got Thurmont, Maryland. Here you go. Here's a really cool one. I got Vienna, Italy right here, which is super neat. And so all over the globe, literally, we have buyers. And so it allows us to, here's the buyers we have, match them up to your property. And on top of that, we have technology we developed that'll take any new listing, a.k.a. your listing, once we get it, right? And then what we do is it runs a software and it reverse engineers the 67,477 buyers to find the most likely ones to buy your property based on their previous search patterns, and it scores them highest to lowest on a 99, 100, 1 to 100 scale, and it allows us to reach out and say, hey, John and Mary, we have this brand new listing. It matches what you're looking for. Do you want to take a look at it? They do because they're on our website. They've been on our website for months and months, and it's exactly what they want. And so it allows us to not just get a listing, put a sign on the yard, but be proactive and aggressive in how we do this, and that's how our properties sell faster, more money. So if you want to be one of those success stories and have that and kind of see that, we love to sit down and show it to you. We show our clients, everyone we show, it absolutely blows their mind because they can see real time, everyone searching what they're searching for, and it's very, very powerful overall, which is pretty cool. So we'll lead into a couple of success stories. Very, very proud of those. Kind of the best part about the show, really, is just seeing it and what's happening. Big shout out to Chase and Victoria. They're having their third child soon. We're living in a two-bedroom home. The obvious issue with their third child in the way is that a two-bedroom, just not enough room for their expanding family. Thankfully, Victoria heard about my team now from a friend who's an amazing radio listener, told her to give us a call, and called into our office. We met with Chase and Victoria. They share their future plans and how they needed to maximize every dollar they get out of their current home so they can afford the larger home for their growing family. We share with Chase and Victoria exactly how we could get the most amount of money for their home, get it sold in a time frame. But we also share how we can get it sold for $20,000 more than what they thought the home was worth. And so, big example, we have a lot of people right now that want to do a for sale by owner. We see this over and over. They look at some data, they try to save a little money, and they cost themselves tons of money on the back end. So, listed it, design a custom plan, launch our global marketing blitz, professional photos, virtual reality tour, and we got multiple offers on that. Sold $15,000 above asking price, which is huge. And guess what? Got them $35,000 more than what they actually thought they could get in the first place, which is super, super cool. And so, second one really quick here, which is really neat. I want to get to, my paper is blank, but here it goes. Also, here's a really cool one in terms of that. Gary and Teresa own a home in Conway. They're getting to the point in life where they want to be close to their family in case something happened to their health. Their family is back in Virginia. They knew now's the time to make the move because the market is still super strong and they're in good health. They interviewed multiple agents, but were not impressed with anyone. Thankfully recommended to us, Sloan Realty Group. They were blown away by our marketing program and the system. We came in, designed a custom plan, launched global marketing blitz, professional photos, the virtual reality walkthrough within just a few days with massive traffic. Got to offer $10,000 above asking price. Now they move back to Ohio with maximum equity in their pockets. And so very, very proud about that. We got about 2 minutes left. So let's talk about the multiple offer strategy. Here's the deal. When a hot market, what a lot of agents are doing is they're just pricing it where they can, what they think is the highest, and I think they're underpricing a lot. They just do it a random day at a random time. They get a good offer, and they take the first offer right there. There's no strategy behind it, right, because they don't know any better. What we've been able to do is you want an agent who can do a multiple offer strategy. We list it on a certain day of the week. We track the data and know the best time to do so. We team that up and tee it up with an open house and over a weekend in a couple of days. And what you do is you get massive traffic, give somebody enough time to get in from up north where a lot of the money's coming from. Then you're able to drive up massive traffic, and you get multiple offers, which guess what? Creates a bidding war, drives the price up in that. Now, here's the problem. Most agents don't have a strategy for handling that. Most of them don't like it because it's too much work for them. With us and a team, we love that because we're doing the best for our client. It drives the price up, and our client's super happy because instead of just getting what they thought they could at full price, now we're getting $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 more for them by doing it the right way. Number one, getting the right exposure. Number two, doing it the right time. Number three, with the right marketing, and then you're able to tee that up and make sure you can push maximum views, maximum showings over that few-day period with a multiple offer deadline, and the deadline is what gets all offers in, and that's how you create this amazing effect to get multiple offers and drive it in. We really got that down to a science over doing this past few years, and so if you want to know more about that, right, you owe it to yourself. Don't let just any old agent take out there place it on the market with a random day, a random time with random photos, and then take their first offer. You want to make sure you can have a strategy in place to maximize exposure and offers on that to get the most amount of money of your hard-earned equity. So if you want to know more how it works, reach out to myself, my office. We're always here hustling. 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com anytime.
Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LaVox, lead singer of Rascal Flatts. I'm moving on. When I'm Moving On won the award for ACM Song of the Year, it struck a chord with folks who understand the challenges that come with life's big changes. For many, that happens when it comes time to sell their home. If you're moving on, you want a real estate agent who will make selling your home easy and stress-free. An agent who's willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service. That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at BlakeSloan.com or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD and start packing.